Hi again, it's me, Dandruff, and I just wanted to first address the elephant in the room, which was my last show wasn't liked very much. Pretty sure that was because I had to drop the whole character thing, the Back to the Future theme. It was because of copyright issues. There may have been problems with it, and it's better to be safe than sorry. So, just to let you know, I am going to be doing some changes for the intro. There's not going to be a script for future episodes, for the intro and the outro anyway. That is completely out of my comfort zone. As you may or may not know, I use a script for literally everything. I may or may not be using a script right now. So, I'm also going to ditch the second intro. I really feel like it was unnecessary. Sorry about my daughter making noise down there. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. I'm going to do the entire intro and outro in one take. So, who knows what'll happen? Great things. Terrible, horrible things. It's going to help me work on my improv skills and all that stuff. And hey, that's not a type of entertainment you can get for free, can you? Not with the internet full of YouTube. Maybe you can get it for free, but we're gonna try to do it in. We don't want to charge for this crap. Just go. We're gonna do the game. We're gonna show you some games that are coming out the next week. Let's hope you like it. Roll the damn games. Get with the go. Why are you still here? Go. We are starting with an oldie but a goodie, a game that continues to stand the test of time, chess. There's a bunch of different styles of boards, pieces, and backgrounds, including a bunch of fantasy characters, both futuristic and medieval. Yes, it is just chess, so there's not a lot more to say. You probably know the game, but there's a ton of new options, and it releases on March 10th. This next one looks really interesting. It's a prison building simulator with a twist called City of God 1 Prison Empire. The game seems to have a narrative behind it, and as you build bigger and bigger prisons, more of the story unfolds. This game has a wonderful art style, which I'm going to call Tough Chibi, and has a very powerful soundtrack. If you loved Prison Architect, then you're gonna like this one, which releases on March 7th. Here we have the first ever shmup, or shoot 'em up, that I featured on this show called Ghost Blade, releasing on March 8th. These games always take me back to when I was a kid because a lot of arcade games were like this. Collect the stars and the different power-ups and defeat the boss of each level. Good luck, and give 'em hell. The second and final builder game on this list is SimAirport, and I'm not really sure how they got away with the name there because of the Maxis series, but that's for the developer to figure out. Another game inspired by the likes of Prison Architect has you building and managing your very own airport. Terminals, runways, and luggage claim, they're all here, even those pesky TSA agents who want to touch your naughty bits. Airport Sim releases on March 6th. Here we have a point-and-click adventure game called Bad Dream Coma. This game has an art style that I would describe as pale and bloody, and everything about it gives me the creeps. If you have an audience that either loves horror or point-and-click adventure games, then this is going to be a great change of pace. It comes from the developer Desert Fox and releases on March 9th.
Right, we're approaching the site of the new outer space holiday camp to make repairs, so I'll guide the spaceship down to the surface and you just kill. Right,
You can already tell this is going to be an interesting game, and this one is called Loot Rascals. It's an adventure RPG with a fun, unique art style and a ship commander with a Scottish accent. Full of comedy and whimsy, this one is sure to get your audience laughing and keep their interest from episode to episode. It may look like a 4X game because of the hexes, but that's just part of the art style. Loot Rascals releases on March 7th. You know we couldn't go 1 week without having a puzzle game, and this is Turn. This reminds me of the recently released game for Nintendo Switch called Snipper Clips. By the way, I'm convinced whoever made this trailer already knew the most efficient way of solving the puzzles because there is no way I could do that well. The premise of the game is to take a shape and then turn it into the shape being requested using the tools presented. It's a great concept for a game, and Turn releases on March 10th. Now this one is a hex-based strategy game, and it's called Buccaneers Bounty and Boom. You know it's gonna be fun because the boom has an exclamation point. Anyway, play as a goblin on the high seas as you search for booty and raid other pirates. It features single player and online multiplayer, which supports cross-platform play between the PC and Mac versions. It is nowhere near as complicated as a game like Civilizations, but offers a lot of options for play. Buccaneers Bounty and Boom, with its bright, bold, beautiful art style, releases on March 8th. Oh, do you love that soundtrack? Cause I sure do. And this game is called Space Jammers, releasing on March 8th. It's a game that uses a similar concept to Nuclear Throne or Enter the Gungeon, being a top-down arcade-style shooter with procedurally generated levels. This game is great to have friends over and play with them all on the couch. Unfortunately, Space Jammers does not support online multiplayer, but it is a planned feature, so collaborations are limited to people who you know in real life for the time being. And finally, another game with a great soundtrack, Streets of Rogue, a game whose title is a play on words of the classic game Streets of Rage. Unlike Streets of Rage, which is a 2D side-scrolling brawler, Streets of Rogue is another top-down game, but one with RPG and stealth elements. The developer Matt Dabrowski describes his game as Nuclear Throne meets Deus Ex with the anarchy of GTA. This one does have online multiplayer if you like that sort of thing. It's published by the one and only Tiny Build and releases on March 10th. So that's it for this week's list of games. I hope you all enjoyed them. I tried to get a couple more games in there than I did last time, which, by the way, I'm sorry I didn't have an episode last week. There was some family stuff that came up that I had to take care of. But Streets of Rogue and Loot Rascals look really, really good to me. Those are the games this week that most interest me. I am gonna try to work on an idea for a new theme for the show. I gotta run a couple by Leonor and see what he says about it. Well, I don't know. We'll see what goes. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to keep going with this. So, yay! I'll see you all next time. See you next week for Dandruff's Keymailer picks. I don't know the name of the show.